Welcome back to my G1 Retro Reviews. Today, we're taking a look at the second episode of the second season of the original Transformers series, Changing Gears, which ironically was also partial inspiration for the second live-action Transformers movie, Revenge of the Fallen. Now there's a thought. I wonder if I should do a review series where I review all the Transformers movies. Nah, nobody would be interested in that, right? Well, anyways, in this episode, the Decepticons kidnap Gears because apparently his special personality chip is the final piece of the puzzle that Megatron needs in order to complete his solar needle. This episode opens up on a gold mine, and I am immediately reminded of that old mine that Hoist and the Dinobots visited in Rescue Bots Academy. I wonder if there's any Energon buried in this mine too. Well, maybe there is, because it is soon attacked by the Decepticons. Soundwave ejects Laserbeak as normal to go after one of the miners, but what is up with his arm motions as he ejects Ravage? That's kinda weird, isn't it? But I do love Megatron's crossed arms power stance here. Between this and his relaxing chilling pose from a few episodes ago, if being the leader of the Decepticons doesn't work out for him, Megatron could have a career as a model. Also, I love how Megatron just slaps Starscream aside. Aw, poor Starscream.
Alert! Alert! Autobots, assemble at once!
Again, Optimus, you could have just said Autobots assemble. Like Avengers assemble. So all the other Autobots rush to Optimus Prime's call. That is, except for little grumpy butt Gears, who just seems to take his time. And I love this little leapfrog maneuver that Bumblebee does on him. It's totally unnecessary, and it actually seems more like something that animated Bumblebee would do rather than G1 Bumblebee. When Gears finally gets to the meeting, if you look closely, you can spot that Wheeljack is miscolored. It looks like they accidentally colored him like Gears, but it also kind of makes him look like Exhaust. Sort of. Maybe this could be Wheeljack's G2 color scheme. Wheeljack never did get a G2 repaint, and this episode was one of the episodes that was rerun as part of Generation 2. Hey, there's a Generation Selects idea for you, Hasbro. G2 Wheeljack, based on his miscoloration in this episode. So the Autobots go and fight the Decepticons, but thanks to some bouncy boulders... Bouncy boulders? Seriously? I know this was a cartoon and everything, but come on, who thought this was plausible, even for a cartoon? So the Decepticons kidnap Gears. Aww, I just love it when these mini-bots get picked up by bigger bots. It makes them look small, like children. It's so cute and adorable. But anyways, we learn that the reason that the Decepticons stole Gears was because he has a special circuit that Megatron needs in order to complete his solar needle, a device designed to drain the power of the sun, which is why this episode often gets mentioned as partial inspiration for the plot of Revenge of the Fallen. Because, if you'll remember in that movie, there was a similar device buried in one of the Great Pyramids of Egypt. How humans never discovered that there was a giant alien device in one of the pyramids? Who knows?
Unless this process can be stopped, the sun will explode in slightly less than 2 Earth hours. I've triangulated his location to the geographic center of Africa. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go! Autobots, transform!
So the Autobots are going to drive from the US to Africa in 2 hours. Wait, what? How are they going to drive to Africa that fast without a ground bridge or something? You sure you don't want to call Jetfire and have him give you a lift or something, Optimus? So somehow during the commercial break, the Autobots managed to get to Africa. Again, in under 2 hours. Driving. Well, once there, Optimus immediately has Jazz and Sunstreaker disintegrate a bunch of trees in order to make a path for themselves. I know they're trying to stop Megatron from destroying the Earth and stuff, but come on, Optimus, think of the environmental impact. You sure you wouldn't rather have Jetfire fly you guys over the forest rather than blazing a path through it? The Autobots arrive at the Solar Needle, And while Peter Cullen is arguing with himself over who should make the ultimate sacrifice to stop it, Cliffjumper takes it upon himself and jumps in. Good thing that this is G1 though, because if this were any other continuity, he probably wouldn't have survived. He does, however, seem to suffer from amnesia.
Where am I? How'd I get here? What am I doing here?
Look, it's Cliffjumper. He made it!
Move out!
Wait, that's it? Ratchet, Cliffjumper is clearly out of sorts and has amnesia. You don't want to maybe examine him or something? Well, as the Autobots and Decepticons fight, I do like some of the moves that they pull off. Ratchet hits Thundercracker with a flying karate kick. Really didn't expect that out of old Ratchet. And Wheeljack lands an uppercut on Skywarp. I guess these two haven't been spending all their time in the Autobots medbay lab. So the Autobots defeat the Decepticons, turn off the Solar Needle, and Gears gets back to normal, despite the other Autobots not voting for him to get his personality chip back. But come on, guys. This is Gears' choice, not yours. He may be a little grumpy pants bot, but you don't get to decide what his personality is for him. This was an okay episode of G1. I thought it started off pretty strong, but there was a lot of weird plot decisions made, and some especially bad animation near the end. Like, how did the Autobots drive to Africa in only 2 hours? Why didn't Optimus use Jetfire to fly himself and the other Autobots there? Although, I guess I should be glad that he didn't. Otherwise, it might have turned out even more like Revenge of the Fallen, and Jetfire would have died, and Optimus would have combined with his corpse in order to destroy the Solar Needle. Overall, I would definitely have to put this one down as one of the worst episodes we've seen so far in the series. There were some fun, cute, and cool moments in it, but this definitely isn't worth rewatching. I do wonder if this episode was written with the intention to try and get people to buy Gears' toy, because it obviously features him in it, even if he's not exactly the most likable bot. I think it would have been better if his personality was more of a mix between his two with and without his chip. Still make him grumpy and depressed, but have him be more nice about it. Kind of like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I think that would make him more cute and likable, being an Autobot version of Eeyore. I also wonder if this episode was also meant to try and sell Megatron and Soundwave too, because I think we see Soundwave eject and recall his cassette minions more in this episode than in any other. And the same goes for Megatron transforming into his gun mode. I don't recall any other episode where he transforms this much. And what happened with Cliffjumper and his amnesia? Is he going to be okay? Poor Cliff. I guess he gets that resolved between episodes. Well, what about you? What did you think of this classic episode of the original Transformers series? As always, let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And you know, it's interesting that they showed the Statue of Liberty in this episode, as we'll be seeing it again in the next episode of G1, City of Steel. Ah yes, another very memorable episode of G1. There's definitely going to be lots to talk about in that episode. So, see you then.